Good afternoon, African Confessions. So we are back with another episode. I have come with another message that I received via WhatsApp. The message reads like this. Hello, can you please post for me as hidden identity? I have come to share my story with your listeners so that I might find help. My story goes like this. The ghost of my husband's wife is tormenting me day and night. What happened is that I dated a married man and I did not know that he was married. And at the time when I was 6 months pregnant for him, that is when I discovered that he was married. What happened is that he gave me some money to look for a house so that I can rent, so that we can start to stay together. 3 months down the line, we were okay, but what will happen is that sometimes he will not come back home. He will just give me a reason saying that I was busy at work or I went for a business seminar or a workshop. Because I loved my husband and I trusted him, I believed each and every single word that he told me. But I started to suspect that there might be something going on, because sometimes when he'll come back home, he'll be so tired. When I'll try to make love to him, nothing will happen. I mean that his manhood will not do anything. So I started to snoop around his phone. Then I noticed that on his WhatsApp, there was this chat. The name that was written, it was a name saved as a man, but the chat was always empty. He used to clear the chat but not delete the whole chat. So I just wrote down that number. When my husband did not come back home, I tried to call that number. The phone rang. Then the next time a woman picked up, she just said hello. Then she started to laugh. And in the background, I could clearly hear that the person who was speaking in the background was my husband. The woman, I think that, forgot to drop the call, and it seems as if I had disturbed these people. They were in the middle of their love making. I cried as I listened to my husband telling this woman how good she was in bed. After that, I just dropped the call. A few days later, I then received a private call from a woman who claimed to be my husband's first wife. When she told me that she was my husband's first wife, I couldn't believe her. I actually accused her, saying that she was just a husband snatcher, a gold digger. She was trying to destroy my marriage and she had played with the wrong woman. Then she told me that we should make arrangements. She will show me the proof. She didn't want to fight with me. So I told her that, fine, I'll come over to your house in person. So I went there, we spoke, and she showed me proof that they had been married for 15 years. And she told me that I should leave her husband if I want things to be well with me. Because of this heartbreak that I had been given, I think that my body just gave in. 2 days later, I then had a premature baby. But I had to stay with my husband. It was a hard decision, but I was so much in love with him. He told me that he loved me too, and he was going to take me in as his second wife. So me and the first wife, we used to fight a lot. You know what happens when you are women and you realize that you are sharing a man. She used to calling me names. Then I'll also call her sometimes, calling her names. Soon after that, she started to send me text messages threatening me, saying that if she was ever going to die, I'll never enjoy my marriage. She was telling me that I should let go of her husband before it was too late. Me and my husband's first wife, we had a very big fight. Then 2 days later, she sent me a message saying that if I am ever going to die, I just want to let you know, my sister, that you are the reason why I have died. Later that day, my husband called me and told me that his first wife had just died. I was so scared to tell my husband that earlier on, me and his first wife, we had been fighting a lot, especially on WhatsApp. I took my phone, then I went to her chat and I made sure that I deleted all the messages that I had ever sent to her and made sure that those messages will be deleted for everyone, just in case if anyone was going to read our chats. Then I kept it as a secret until today. But there is something that happened that day when my husband's first wife died. I started to have dreams and I kept on dreaming about her. I just ignored it, thinking that maybe it was normal since me and her we used to fight a lot, but she kept on appearing in my dreams. But I just ignored it. I just thought that since me and my husband's first wife we used to fight a lot, maybe it was normal. Maybe it was just the trauma of thinking that I was the reason for her death. After the death of my husband's first wife, everything went back to normal. My husband then told me that he was no longer going to pay for my rentals. I had to move out of that house that we were renting and I had to stay with him at his house. At first I refused, but then he told me that he was no longer going to pay for my rentals. I wasn't working and there is nowhere where I was going to get the money. When I finally moved in with my husband, my parents were against that idea. They told me that in our culture, that was a taboo. That should never happen. But my husband could not listen to me. When I started to live in this house, I told him that I'll not touch anything that belonged to your late wife. But he kept on telling me that just use the pots for today. Tomorrow we'll go and we'll buy brand new stuff for you so that you can use in the kitchen. Admin, I don't even know what was happening to me and my husband the time that we were staying in that house. We kept on using that dead woman's stuff, even the bath towels. I was using her bath towels, even her morning gown, everything. I was just using it. My husband kept on telling me that use them, tomorrow we'll go and buy new stuff. We were using everything from the kitchen to the bedroom. We were actually sleeping on her bed. Then things started to happen in that house. The first night, I remember that we heard the sound of a car being parked outside. When my husband opened the curtains to see if there was anyone outside, he saw nothing. The next day, we heard the sound of that car. Then my husband said that that car sounded exactly like the first car that I bought with my wife. A few minutes later, we heard that it seemed as if someone was opening the doors of that car. We even heard the beep of the alarm, that car being locked. We heard footsteps. There was someone who was opening the kitchen door. We heard footsteps in the kitchen, a lot of noises in the kitchen as if someone was washing dishes and preparing to cook. And from the sound of the footsteps, it seemed as if the person who was walking in our kitchen was a woman who was wearing high heels. Me and my husband, we then ran to our bedroom and we locked ourselves up. The next day, we moved out of this house. That night, that person kept on opening doors and closing them. We heard that person taking a bath, watching TV. We now have moved out of this house, but it seems as if that person followed us to where we are staying now. We can't sleep anymore. There was a day when we woke up early in the morning. I felt so cold. Then we found out that we were sleeping outside, me and my child. This is so scary to me, admin. I don't know, is there anything that we can use to chase away the spirit? I don't know if it is the spirit of my husband's late wife, or there is something, or there is someone in my family who is causing me to go through this misery. Me and my husband, we cannot be intimate anymore. I mean that we can't have sex. Because what happened is that whenever we try to be intimate, his manhood will be so weak that you cannot do anything. On any given day, when his manhood tries a little bit, I see someone standing behind my husband. Then I scream and we stop having sex. Please, my brother, is there anything that I can do to chase away this demonic spirit? Please help me. Such a sad story, such a sad story. She then sent another message saying that my husband now is dating another lady and I think that he is planning to move out to stay with her because he said that I am not seeing any problem. And he is also accusing me, telling me that if your hands are clean, then why is this happening to me? Ever since I have been married, this thing has never happened to me. Please help me, my brother.